So this is kind of my studio, kind of my garage, kind of my gardening warehouse right now. We did a garage tour. It's gotten a little bit more messy. I have a bunch of stuff that has to go up into the attic, some bike stuff that has to go up on the shelf, and all of this is just kind of temporary. I did get a new saw and some guides to do straight cuts on plywood. So I will be able to build my bench now, and I will probably film it, but what do you guys think? But today's video is all about the Kingbull Rover, which is a 26 by 4 inch electric bike. It has a 750 watt hub motor and a 17.5 amp hour battery. Pretty average battery at 17.5, but looks like it has quite a bit of power. We'll see how it does in performance, but I have not watched very many videos on this bike. I do know it's full suspension and it has a motorcycle headlight. And I also know that the fenders that it comes with are kind of not the greatest, so I probably won't even install them, to be honest, but I'll show them to you. So when you buy this bike, make sure you keep your box for 30 days just in case you have to return it for any reason. I think that's a great thing to have on the top of the box as we get started here. We're going to go ahead and cut this box open though. I want to see what it looks like. Now, thanks to Kingbull for sending this over to me to review. I'm really excited to check it out. If this bike interests you at all, make sure you use the link down in the description. All right, here we are in the box. Looks like it's packaged pretty well. There is some slight damage on the box over here, but will hopefully be okay. I don't know what is sitting right there, but looks like that's where the axle bolt is, so hopefully that's okay. Over here is good. This box is nice because it has handles on both sides. Some of these boxes that you get, the companies don't really think about transport. Having handles on both sides of the box is clutch for carrying it in to my garage, and for the FedEx guys to handle it. If they don't have those handles, man, it's pretty hard to carry, even though they do use a dolly every once in a while. Most of the time I'm here though. Okay, this is trash. I should probably have my trash can open, all right? I bought this to make my unboxing easier. Now here's the box. Looks like it's wedged under the seat. That's a pretty good spot for it. And this probably has all the accessories, so let's go ahead and open that up. I can't wait to get my workbench because I'll be able to have more places to set up and film. Right now, I'm just using my GoPro. I figured, you know, I'm just gonna film and that's that. And I need to film more. I've been doing a lot of editing and not filming, so I should spend more time filming. Here's the headlight. Pretty nice. I think I've seen this before. And they do provide a 3 amp charger. So this is a 48 volt e-bike. So we're going to be charging at 54.6 at 3 amps. 54.6 at 3 amps. Which is great. That'll fill that 17.5 amp hour battery pretty quick. Ooh, looks like a pretty nice pouch. Here's the pedals, pretty standard pedals. I can already tell it looks like Welgo, and it looks like they're all metal. Looks like they give you a pedal wrench, which is nice to see. I have not seen that personally in a unboxing yet. I've got my own pedal wrench right here, but for people that are buying the bike that are just getting into this, that's nice to see. Having a pedal wrench makes it so much easier to torque down those pedals, get them nice and tight. It looks like the manual's in here, so let's go ahead and open this up. Looks like a pretty nice manual, colored pictures, help you with installation, which I'm also going to be doing in this video. Oh, a nice set of Allen keys. Oh, these are actually really good Allen keys. This needs to be a little bit tighter. They're pretty loose, but pretty cool. That's actually a high quality set of Allens right there to carry with you. And then here's the pedal wrench, and then it looks like another 15. That's probably to help you assemble the bolt on the front wheel. So we might actually use all of these tools, to be honest with you. I don't usually use the tools, but those are pretty nice. I honestly have not watched an unboxing on this bike yet. I did watch some performance videos, but I like to leave the unboxing experience untouched because that really allows me to tell you my true honest opinion of everything as far as unboxing experience goes. Now, I usually take you guys on my first ride, but sometimes I ride the bike before I take you guys with me. It just depends. Now we're gonna cut the box here, and then eventually cut this box up anyways. There's that. A lot more styrofoam, but very nice package. I got the, looks like the silver color, gray. I don't know what they call it, but that's cool. I like that. And I'm not going to install the fenders that comes with it, which are right here. I'm going to grab my cutters. Show you what these look like. Unless they've changed them. So there's the, I'm guessing this is probably your rear and your front. They don't have a picture, so not entirely sure where it goes, but this probably clamps to your seat post, I would guess, and this goes to the front. Yeah, that's what it is. So this is the rear, this is the front. If you guys are going to install these, I am not, because if I do any off-road or anything, these are pretty flimsy. I mean, it's all completely plastic anyways. I don't want to damage them, so I'm just making up excuses. I'm not installing these, to be honest with you. I'm not throwing them in the trash though. I'm gonna keep them for whoever gets this bike after me. Alrighty, so we can start pulling off the things. We'll start by clipping off the big giant zip ties here. And this part you actually kind of want to be careful. What I always do is stick my cutter up underneath there, or scissors, or whatever you're using, and just make sure you don't clip anything or poke your tire. You don't want to get a flat by when you assemble the bike, so you just got to be careful. You have the right tools though. These make everything easy. I first originally found these with 3D printing. I got a pair of them when I got my 3D printer, and ever since then these are my go-to cutters for zip ties. Specifically the only tool I will use for zip ties. It's that good, and they're cheap, and you can get them at Harbor Freight too. I have one upstairs. I have multiple. Let's go ahead and pull this bike off, get rid of this box. And because they have it with a plastic plate up there, that's going to be really good for keeping it balanced, so you can assemble it a little bit easier. Looks like the axle bolt's okay, but 91 degrees in the garage today, which isn't too bad. I mean, I've been in here when it's hotter. I definitely would like to get a mini split, working towards that maybe next year. I'm doing a lot of research and you know, just planning. That'll come eventually. It was really cold yesterday, cool for July, like in the 70s for some weird reason. Probably because of the storms, but we got a little bit of damage on the battery here. Looks like some of the paint was scuffed off, but at least it's on the black, so we can touch that up. Definitely happened during transport. You guys will see that live. You know, like, I'm not going to cut this part out, which doesn't always happen, but the packaging can always be improved. But there's only so much you can do. Though, looks like something jammed into it. Hopefully the battery's okay and it comes off and it charges and works and all that. Doesn't look too bad. It might have been from the wheel, to be honest with you. I wonder if it was, because it was like sitting right here, you know. Okay, so that could have been a packaging error. They should definitely have something on the ends of these that are maybe a little bit more sturdy, or package the bike in a different way. But yeah, that's definitely caused from this wheel. And you want to make sure that you protect it, right? Whether you take the battery out, but still then you run the risk of chipping the paint. So I just think they need to come up with a better solution for packing the wheel. It's definitely caused by the wheel, whether or not the wheel was jammed into the battery. But like I said, that's not that huge of a deal because it's on the black part of the battery down there, so I can just touch it up with a black Sharpie or a paint pen or something. I have black paint everywhere, all different kinds. This is like going to be the longest unboxing ever. I gotta try to take it easy though, it's pretty hot out. All right, let's grab our Rover tools. Let's go ahead and use these since they're here. I guess I hit the remote. Getting the right camera angle here, so we'll loosen this one as well. Ooh, there we go. See, that's what you gotta be careful of. So we're gonna bring these all the way up. Then you'll just tighten these top ones, and that should hold everything in place. And then you'll tighten the bottom ones as well once you get it tied up here. That should be good. And then we just tighten these down here. I really do like these Allen keys though, they're pretty nice. Pretty good set right here that comes with the Kingbull Rover. Now we take the front plate off the stem and we're gonna add the handlebars, so that'll be pretty simple. And it looks like the wires are routed. Now we don't have a front fender to put on or anything. We do have a headlight though. Where's that headlight? I took a break earlier because it got incredibly hot in here and I was just like I was just sweating all over the place. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a break, come back to this. You know, this is a good breaking point so I don't get frustrated. Now it looks like these are probably going to need to be tightened, which to tighten these you'll need a set of Allen keys, which is kind of funny. But you can see mine's already loose. They should stay pretty tight inside there. I'll get my other Allen set, I guess, and tighten them. Now we're gonna take the bolts off the plate here for the handlebars. Alright, now we got the plate off. We're gonna run this without knocking the bike over. Take off the styrofoam. This is the almost the last of it. Oh, please don't tell me my screen's messed up. Yeah, since I tighten these up, it makes it way better to use. And I like the grip on this, man. These are really nice Allens. Kind of surprised me. The only thing that I think can make it better are having rounded heads. That makes it a little bit easier to use, but maybe not in this case because it's like using it like a screwdriver here or a T-handle. Okay, handlebars are good. So I just get them tight enough to where I can turn them and then I can tighten them down and the handlebars pretty much stay in place. Now I might have to make a little bit of adjustment on this brake lever, but I think this is good right here. We'll see. Looks like this brake lever is up a little higher than this one. All right, we got the handlebars on. Next thing is to flip the bike around, which we're gonna do that by using handlebar jacks, which is my favorite accessory ever made, I think. One of. I use them every time I build a bike just because of the ease of use, and I showed them off in many videos and I will continue to do so because they're awesome. Great product, built really well, work really well. So you basically just wrap, so this has a little indentation here that's like in a concave shape and it forms over the handlebar grip, and then you just take this Velcro strap, stick it through the slot there and cinch it down and spread these apart, and then there you go, you got little tripods, little feet for when you flip the bike over. So we'll do the same thing over here, put the Velcro up through it, spread these, that's it, and then we can take it and flip it over, which we're gonna do right now. There we go. what you guys are seeing on the GoPro. Ah, that's the first time that's ever happened. Okay, now we gotta move down here because I need some room. All right, there we go. Got one, got two. Now we need to take this plastic piece off, which is why they give you another 15 mil wrench. So I guess they're expecting you to use the pedal wrench and the 15 together, which is a nice touch to have this. So we're gonna get to these bolts, and really we just need to loosen up. Like sometimes one's enough and sometimes you need to loosen a couple of them. And we're just trying to get this out. But you don't use this, don't use that. You use the one that comes in the box. So for the front tire, we're gonna release this little shipping plastic piece. Has a little grabber on it, you just pull it forward. And then you'll take your tire, bring it down through here. It should sit in place. And then you might have to loosen a bolt or two to get it to fall down in there, but should fall as long as everything's good. Or not. Oh, this one's caught on the lock washer. Okay. This one might be too. Shit. Alright, there we go. Now on the front here, these washers, they have little pins. These are called, and there's a little slot on the fork down here that it slides into. And then this locks in place. Anti-rotation washer is what that's called. So use your 15 anti-rotation washer. Go to the other side. Same thing. Make sure you get that in the right place. The little tab will slide into the little slot down here. And then we just tighten these down. And then the last thing on this part is we'll install the headlight, but we actually probably can do that by flipping the bike back around and then install the pedals, and that's it. This bike's simple to build, except for the forks are a little tricky. It's a little different, but it has places for fenders, so maybe they're gonna offer that one day, I don't know. We do also have to fix the chains, so let's go ahead and do that since we're right here. Maybe. Okay, there's that. All right, that's the only reason we had to flip the bike over for this bike. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Lucy, better watch out, girl. All right, we're getting somewhere. We have the front tire on now. There she is, looking pretty good so far. I like the overall design. It's pretty plain, but definitely a cool looking bike, especially if you leave the fenders off. Fenders are awesome for keeping things off your clothes, but some people don't need that, especially if you're going to use this like as a dirt bike or mainly off-road. A lot of people that ride off-road don't want to have fenders because they don't want anything bashing them up and causing them problems. So, all right, and you might need another tool that we don't have, although it could be a 13, I guess. Is it a 13? That'd be cool. Nope. So we are missing one wrench to do this completely. We're gonna have to dig into our tools because they did not provide you with the right wrench for the headlight. I'm glad I'm filming this so I can remind them to. My tools are like kind of all over the place right now because I'm in the process of doing too many things at once to label some of this stuff, but yeah, this is the wrench I'm after. Pretty sure this is going to be a 10. Yeah, all right. We're going to take this bolt, slide it through here, and this part right here needs to stay on top, and that's kind of like a bracket to hold this in place. So we'll take our, of course I would drop it. Why would I not do that, Lucy? I always drop shit, don't I? Probably because filming and assembling and trying to make sure you don't miss anything, it's pretty difficult to do, to be honest with you. And then make it a compelling video. And I should probably have another camera rolling just in case, so I'm not wasting my time. But I think I'm good. I kind of like have this down pat for the most part. I should by now. Built a lot of bikes. And then after you get this installed, this one's actually really well built. Plastic exterior here, but the bracket's metal, and all the insides are metal, so pretty good. But then you just need to plug it in, and there's a little tab and slot that goes right here, and that's all you got to do. And now we just got to put our pedals on. All right, they are clearly marked. If you're sitting on the bike, this is your right, this is your left. So right side is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So get those on there. You just go on the right, and they have labels here, so we're actually going to take that off if it comes off good. This bike's pretty easy to put together, but you will need your own 10mm crescent wrench, or an adjustable if you have one. And putting the pedals on with the provided pedal wrench is pretty nice, works really good. Now the left one, as you can read here, oh, maybe you can't read that, I don't know. It says left side pedal, go this way. We're gonna turn it to the left. We're gonna go ahead and try to power up the bike. All right, let's go ahead and try to power it up here. Just push and hold the power button. I've never seen this display, but you can't really see it because the plastic is on. Hopefully the screen's not damaged. It doesn't look like it is, just the plastic. So this is the same type of screen that the original electric XP had on it, except this is the color version. So it's really bright. Daylight, night, it doesn't matter, you can see it. Right now it's super bright in here. Screen's super clear. I really like this screen. I think this is the first bike I've had that had this screen on it, but I've seen it around quite a bit. I look like I'm gonna have to turn the handlebars up a bit, maybe. We'll see after I ride. But we've seen this control panel before. We should be able to get into the P settings by hitting plus and minus. I just changed something. Oh, I guess it's screen brightness. That wasn't even on the brightest setting. We need to find the max speed, which that's at 28, so I just need to Google. There's a lot of settings on here. I think this is the speed limit. So 41 is the max, so I guess it's already unlocked. Okay, how do you turn on the headlight? And there you go, you push and hold the plus button. Alright, here is your SIS index. 7-speed Shimano shifter. It's got pretty standard grips on it. Grab the charger and charge it up. So first we need to get the keys. Here's the lock. Just turn that and this pops up. And you just slide it out. This one's a little bit tricky because of the way it's designed, but you definitely need two hands, so let's use two hands here. And the tampered sticker is getting destroyed. That is the power button, and this is the charge port. And we're gonna plug this into my smart plug so that I can set a timer so that it will go off when I'm sleeping, because I will not be awake when this is charging. Charging the battery, that'll probably take a bit. I didn't even look to see how much juice it actually had. I usually label the keys, label the charger, and the last thing we gotta do here is pull the plastic off the seat. All right, my GoPro died again. It's almost time to get another camera, another action camera. I need something that can handle the heat and the cold. Once the battery's charged, we're gonna take it for a ride and I'll let you know what I think of it.